Alright everybody, time for another survivalist video. I'm going to show you how to dehydrate fruit. Today we're going to be doing apples. I'm going to show you the whole process, how to make a good product, what I do. So here we go. So I've already got a few apples on the tray here. I've got the dehydrator going there, as you can probably hear. So let's get to it. Things you're going to need for this are lemon juice from concentrate, some cinnamon, a bowl, a plate, and a knife. So, what I usually do is just take the apple, wash it, go ahead and slice it. I've never been very good at slicing these things, but it's good enough. Try to miss the seeds as much as possible. That over. These should be probably about a quarter of an inch thick, but it doesn't really matter too much. So once you've got yourself a few pieces here like this, take them over to your lemon juice. This should be about 1/3 lemon juice, 2/3 water. Dump a bunch of cinnamon in there, mix it up. I'm trying to do this with one hand, and place it on your tray. The reason you use the lemon juice is apples start to brown almost immediately, so the lemon juice actually prevents them from browning while you're dehydrating them. I have no idea why. I got a C in chemistry, so don't ask me. So once you've sliced all these up, just go ahead and place them on the tray. You're going to want to leave them in the dehydrator for about 12 hours. Check on them. I'm going to show you the end product here in a second, but they should be kind of leathery. I tend to like mine a little bit more dehydrated than some, but consistency should be like dry leather, I guess is the best way to describe it. Just very easy to do, easy way to preserve food. You can do this with a lot of different fruits. This is actually mangoes here, which is why they have a bit of an odd color to them. But any fruit you get that you see in the store that's, you know, on sale, you like to preserve for a while. You can also make something called fruit leather, where you make a puree and then spread it on a piece of wax paper. Basically, you're making fruit roll-ups. They're actually pretty good. There's lots of great things you can do with the dehydrator. It's very easy way to preserve food. Save a little bit of money by buying things when they're cheap. So that's the video. I'll show you the end product. My dehydrator. Go ahead, go over here. Oh, Max. That's them drying there. See a little bit of cinnamon on them. Adds a little bit of flavor. So what I'll do when these are done is I will take them over here to my food saver, vacuum seal them, like these mangoes here, and throw an O2 absorber in there, and they'll be good for probably about 6 months to a year. Okay. So there's the video. And as you can see, the apple chips are done. All the way dehydrated. See little bits of cinnamon on them. And they're very good. So I'm just going to vacuum seal them real quick and be done with it. So that's how you make apple chips. Alright everybody, I'm going to show you how to make refrigerator pickles start to finish. It's very easy, and this here is the end result. You've got a whole bunch of pickled garlic, which is very good, and pickles. This is actually from my last batch. It's last little bit that was left in the jar. So I'm just putting that in a little bowl for now, and I'm going to stick that in the refrigerator. Alright, on to the ingredients you're going to need and the equipment. Basically, for equipment, you're going to need a 1-gallon jar and a big pot. That's it for equipment, and a knife probably. What else you're going to need for ingredients is pickling salt, dill, I got this fresh from my garden, garlic, about 5 cloves probably. And it doesn't really matter how much you use, probably minimum of 3, maximum of however much you want. You can never have too much garlic. Got these mini cucumbers from Sam's Club. I saw them for $3. Decided to see what they do. Got these from a local market. You're also going to need vinegar, and that's about it. So Okay, first thing you're going to need to do is take the pickles you're using and scrub them clean. You got to make sure all the dirt is off of them. That and pesticides if you're buying them from the store. I'm not really too concerned about these, at least not the ones that I got from Sam's Club, but the ones I got from Sam's Club, you got to make sure you get all the pesticides off. So scrub them down real good, and then set them off to the side. Alright, so we've got all the cucumbers cleaned and ready to go. Got the jar sterilized. So let's go ahead and prepare these cucumbers. All I'm going to do with these little ones is jab some holes in them, make sure that the brine is able to seep in. There's probably too many holes, but you get the idea. You can also use a fork to do that. It doesn't really matter. I'm just using a knife. So I'm going to chuck those in the jar whole. I'm going to do those first, but I'm going to also show you what to do with these. You don't have to do this, but this is what I do. I go ahead and chop the ends off. Not really sure why I do that, it's just what I do. So I'll cut it in half and quarter it. Oops. So, take that, toss it into the jar, and repeat until your jar is full. Okay, so we have ourselves a jar full of cucumbers now. So it's time to start working on the brine. So first up is the garlic. Now, this is usually a pretty messy operation, but don't mince the garlic or anything. I'll show you what you got to do. Just break it into cloves, just like that. Toss away this thing. Take the individual pieces of garlic and slice them in half. That's it. Now don't remove the skin. The skin's got a good taste in itself. It adds to the flavor. Just toss it in your pot. So just go along, slicing up your garlic, not your fingers hopefully, and toss it in the pot until you've got 3 to 5 cloves of garlic in there. The more the better, actually. There you go. Alright, so I've got the garlic and dill in there. All I did with the dill is mince it up. Not a whole lot, you know, you can see stems and stuff. But anyways, this jar is kind of an experimentation jar. I've never done these small pickles. And I've also never done slices before. So it's going to be kind of, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. So next up, we're going to need, also you need to fill your pot with somewhere between 12 to 16 cups of water. You probably won't use all of it. That's what I do. So next up, you're going to need the salt. About 3/4 of a cup. Pour that out. So go ahead and pour that out. This is actually what preserves it when it comes to barrel pickles, which is what we're making. Okay, so I've got the garlic and the dill in there. Just cut up the dill a little bit and tossed it in there. There's a spider hanging over my pot. Alright, get out of there. Anyways, so we got all the garlic and dill in there. So next thing we're going to add is our salt. You're going to need about 3/4 to 1 cup worth of salt. Doesn't really matter. I prefer towards 3/4. Otherwise, brine seems a little too salty to me. You're going to toss that in there. You're also going to need a shot of vinegar, but add that after you boil this. So, mix that up a little bit and turn the stove on. go. So we're going to turn that on high heat and let it go until it's boiling. Okay, I'm going to show you how I store rice, just while we're waiting for the brine to boil. So I got my food saver on here. I'm going to select dry on here, speed gentle actually, because the rice can poke through the bag. So you're going to go gentle on that, and we should be good to go. I'm going to use the larger bags on this. I can't remember how long they are, to be honest with you. We're just going to pull that out, cut it off, stick it in the food saver. You stop and seal it. You're just going to want to seal one end. The other end is open. I just turned it on, so it's going to be a little bit slow at first, you'll notice. So we're going to take our baggie. We're going to take our rice. We're going to fill the bag till we can close it about here. And the cats are fighting. Wonderful. Alright, so we got our baggie of rice. This one's not anywhere close to 1 gallon, but we're going to chuck a 1 gallon oxygen absorber in there and seal the thing. So, box out of the way. Alright. The tricky part is making sure the rice doesn't fall out while you do this. They could have made this design a little better on this thing. It should seal up just fine. And brick o' rice. You would probably kill somebody with this. So, got a little oxygen absorber in there. I know people are doing the Mylar bag thing, and that's great and all, but to me it's kind of a waste because rice lasts for 2 years just sealed in a baggie. So the oxygen absorber, you got everything you need. What I do recommend though is weevils are just kind of a way of life when you're buying bulk rice. So you probably have bugs in your rice. So what you do is you take your freezer, you chuck it in your freezer, leave it there for, I don't know, about 24 hours. Take it out, let it warm up again for a couple hours, and then chuck it in the freezer again for another 24 hours, and that will make sure that nothing happens to you. This is easy for me because I've got a freezer downstairs, but you might have to do this over a period of time. So okay, there you go. Brine's done. It was boiling for a little bit. I went ahead and scooped all the garlic and dill and put it in the jar. These things. So let's go ahead and pour stuff. Usually I do this over the sink, but I'm not going to today, so. That's why I do it over the sink. Alright, I already started pouring this stuff in there, but unfortunately my camera died halfway through, so finish it up. So I've already added my shot of garlic, which was in the film I was making. And I've already spooned out all the garlic and dill that's in there. Now I'm just pouring the brine over everything. There we go. I usually leave more headspace than that, but I've got so much crap in there this time, I'm just going to kind of top it off. Now what usually happens is I will let this thing sit for a little while with the top on. Make sure there's nothing on the top. And it will actually seal usually, and that is boiling hot. Because as this cools, it contracts and it will pop the top. Right, now my camera filled up, so let's start this again. Like I was saying, these will be good about 48 hours after you've made them, but I really suggest, especially if your top is popped, which it probably will be, just to leave this in your fridge for about a week, because that's when they start getting good. So what you're going to do is just leave them out here until they cool down, otherwise you'll be wasting energy with your refrigerator. And if the top pops, leave them in there for a week. They should be good about then. So there you go, that's how you make pickles, at least refrigerator pickles. I also need to throw a shout out to Pastor George, because he actually gave me the recipe how to do this. Usually I just made the type of pickles that you actually jar. This is probably my 4th time making refrigerator pickles, and they're good. Like I said, this is kind of an experimentation batch, because usually I just do the spears, but I've got the whole cucumbers and the slices in there now. So see how it turns out.